Maybe this feels familiar. She used to light up your phone. Every message, every call felt like she saw you. The chemistry was effortless, but lately something's changed. Her replies got slower, shorter, colder. The warmth that once felt certain now feels distant, and you're left staring at your screen wondering what happened. If this is you, you've probably replayed every moment in your head. Did I say something wrong? Did I come on too strong? Did she lose interest? That loop of overthinking keeps you up at night, scrolling, checking, waiting for a message that never comes. And then that feeling hits. Panic. You want to fix it right now. You want to call her, text her, remind her how good things were. You want to chase because your emotions are screaming that if you don't, you'll lose her forever. But here's the truth no one tells you. Chasing doesn't pull her closer. It does the opposite. Every message you send from fear, every call you make from panic, only makes her pull further away. And yet I get it. Because it's not just about her. It's about that feeling she gave you, that validation, that peace, that spark that made you feel alive again. Losing that feels like losing control of everything. If this is you right now, I want you to pause. Because this moment, right here, is the turning point. This is the test that decides whether she comes back or moves on forever. Most men fail this test. They act on emotion, they chase, they beg, and in doing so they lose all power. But what if you didn't? What if, instead of reacting, you pulled back? What if you did nothing? And that's what made her notice you again. Because when you stop chasing, something unexpected happens, and it's not what you think. You're probably feeling that pull inside you, that urge to fix things, to bring her back, to make it right. Every guy goes through this. She starts pulling away and suddenly your entire focus shifts to her. You start checking your phone, overanalyzing her text, trying to read between the lines of every emoji and response time. It feels like your peace depends on what she does next. But let me tell you something, brother. This is exactly where most men lose themselves. They think love is about chasing, proving, convincing. They think if they just show her how much they care, she'll see their worth. But that's not attraction, that's desperation, and women don't respond to desperation. They respond to certainty. You see, when she starts pulling away, she's not always testing your love. She's testing your center. She wants to see if you crumble without her attention, if you lose yourself the second she stops feeding your ego. Most men fail that test because they make her energy their source of validation. They forget who they were before she showed up. They start performing, over-explaining, apologizing for things that aren't even wrong, or pretending not to care when deep down they're falling apart. And she feels that. She feels that loss of grounding, that emotional instability. It's not about the words you say. It's the energy behind them. When a man starts chasing, his entire presence changes. The calm turns into anxiety. The confidence turns into need. You have to understand something deeper here. Attraction isn't built by movement. It's built by gravity. The more solid you are in yourself, the more naturally things are pulled toward you. That's why the strongest move you can make when she pulls away is no move at all. You don't chase. You don't argue. You don't try to convince her to stay. You let her drift because you know you're not going anywhere. That calm, grounded energy is what makes her start questioning her own distance. One of the core masculine principles most men overlook is this: a man's value is measured by what he can remain unmoved by when life shakes you, when emotions run high, when people pull away. Can you stay still? Can you remain composed even when everything in you wants to act out of fear? That's what defines real strength. A woman might be drawn to your looks, your charm, your energy, but she stays for your stability. She stays when she feels that you're not depending on her for your sense of self. Another principle: presence over pursuit. Women don't fall for men who chase them. They fall for men who are fully present with themselves. When you're constantly chasing, your energy says, "I'm not enough until you choose me." But when you stop, when you redirect that attention inward, when you focus on your own peace, your purpose, your discipline, everything changes, your tone changes. Your body language changes. You stop reacting and start responding. You become the man she was drawn to in the beginning, not the one she's trying to escape from now. And I know it's not easy. Your mind will tell you, if I don't reach out, she'll forget me. But that's a lie born from fear. People don't forget calm power. They forget noise. They forget chaos. But they always remember the man who carried himself with quiet confidence, the one who didn't need to chase her to prove his worth. So when she pulls away, don't panic, don't fold, don't act out of emotion. Instead, step back and breathe. Because this is the moment that separates boys from men, the ones who crumble when love feels uncertain, and the ones who understand that their worth never depended on someone else's closeness in the first place. She may come back, she may not, but what matters most is that you come back, to yourself, to your center, to that place of calm authority that doesn't need to chase what's meant to stay. Because when you move from that energy, you don't lose people. They lose the version of you they took for granted, and that's when everything starts to change. It's late. The glow from your phone is the only light in the room. You're lying there scrolling through the old messages, the ones that used to make you smile, the ones that used to mean something, her laugh in text form, the way she'd say your name, the way her energy felt alive, like she actually wanted to be there. But tonight the screen is empty. No new messages, no notifications, just silence. You stare at that last conversation, the one that slowly went cold. Her replies got shorter, her tone changed. Yeah, okay, maybe later. And you could feel it, that slow, quiet drift. You told yourself it was nothing. She's just busy. She'll text soon. But the truth kept echoing louder in your chest. She's pulling away. Your mind starts spinning. What did I do wrong? Maybe it was that joke she didn't laugh at. Maybe it was the time you were too honest. Maybe you came on too strong. You start replaying every detail, searching for the moment things shifted. Your heart races. You pick up your phone, type out a message, then delete it, then type it again, then delete it again. You want to reach out so badly it almost hurts. You want to remind her how good things were to make her remember. You want to do something, anything, because doing nothing feels unbearable. But something inside you whispers, don't, not this time. You put the phone down and just sit there. The silence feels heavy. You can hear the clock ticking, the fan humming softly. Your breath feels uneven, like your body is caught between wanting to move and wanting to stay still. That night you hardly sleep. You toss, turn, check your phone again and again, still nothing. But when morning comes, something strange happens. You don't text her, not out of pride, but out of exhaustion, out of surrender. You get up, make your coffee, step outside. The air feels different. You realize how much space her absence created. And for the first time in a while, you feel that space belong to you. Days pass. You start moving differently. You hit the gym again. You go for walks without checking your phone every 5 minutes. You start focusing on things that make you feel alive. The urge to chase starts to fade. You notice it, the calm that begins to take its place. And then one night, out of nowhere, your phone lights up. Her name, a message. You stare at it, feeling that rush of adrenaline again. For a second, everything inside you wants to react to give her the same energy you once did. But you don't. You breathe. You read it again. Hey, how've you been? It's not much, but you can feel it, the shift. She's the one reaching out now. And you realize something profound. She didn't come back because you chased her. She came back because you didn't. In that silence, in that space you were so afraid of, she felt something she hadn't felt in a long time. Your absence, your calm, your strength. That was the moment you learned the truth. That sometimes walking away isn't losing, it's leading. Because when a man stops chasing, he doesn't just get his power back, he gets himself back. And that changes everything. Most men are taught the wrong things about women and connection. You've probably heard it your whole life. If you care about her, show her. Don't give up. Keep proving your love. But that advice only works in movies. In real life, the harder you chase someone who's pulling away, the faster they run. because what feels like love to you often feels like pressure to her. Let's break the first false belief, the idea that effort always equals love. That if you just show her how much you care, she'll see your value. But effort doesn't create attraction, energy does. When your effort is rooted in anxiety, she feels it. When your actions come from fear of losing her, it doesn't pull her closer. It makes her feel like she's being cornered. The truth is, love that's forced never feels safe. You might think you're fighting for her, but what you're really doing is fighting your own fear of being alone. You're trying to control the outcome because you've tied your worth to whether or not she chooses you. That's not love. That's attachment dressed as devotion. The moment you start chasing, your energy says, I've lost control. I need you to make me feel okay again. But that's never what draws someone back. A woman doesn't want to be the source of your peace. She wants to feel your peace. She wants to sense that no matter what happens, you're still grounded, still certain, still you. She didn't ghost you. You disappeared from yourself. That's the painful truth most men miss. She didn't pull away because you weren't enough. She pulled away because you stopped being the man she first felt drawn to, the man who had his own center, his own rhythm, his own life. You made her the center of your world, and in doing so, she lost the man who once made her feel safe. The second false belief is this: if she pulls away, I need to fix it immediately. That instinct is powerful. It's a primal. When something breaks, we want to repair it. But relationships don't work like machines. You can't fix emotional distance by applying pressure. What she's really pulling away from isn't you. It's the emotional chaos you bring when you panic. Sometimes space isn't rejection, it's reflection. It's her way of testing whether your connection can survive stillness, whether you can stand firm in silence. Most men fail that test because they can't handle not being in control. They text, call, explain, chase. And in that chase, they lose the very thing that could have brought her back: mystery. When you chase, you teach her to keep running. That's what you have to unlearn. Silence doesn't mean she's gone. Distance doesn't mean it's over. It means this is the moment you either grow or collapse. It's the space where she gets to feel what life is like without your presence. And if your presence was strong enough, she'll come back, not because you chased her, but because she missed the peace you carried. The third false belief is this: if she's pulling away, I'm losing her. No, brother, you're being given a chance to find yourself again. Every time someone steps back, you get to see how much of your identity was tied to their closeness. You get to see how quickly you abandon yourself the moment you feel unwanted. This is where real strength is built, not in chasing love, but in choosing self-respect. Women are not drawn to perfection, they're drawn to presence, the kind that says, I'm okay whether you stay or go. That's not arrogance, that's emotional maturity. That's the kind of man who doesn't need to chase because he understands that the right woman won't run from peace. So when she pulls away, don't ask, how do I get her back? Ask, why did I lose myself the moment she left? Because once you come back to that calm, centered place, that's when everything starts to shift. She feels it, even from a distance. Your silence starts speaking louder than your words ever could. And suddenly she's the one wondering what changed. The moment you stop chasing her, she starts remembering who you are. That's the truth. You don't get her back by begging, convincing, or proving. You get her back by becoming the man she felt drawn to in the first place, the one who didn't need her to feel complete. So stop trying to fix her distance. Let it teach you something instead. Let it remind you what real strength looks like, staying calm when everything in you wants to react. That's the kind of strength that not only draws women back, it makes them see you differently. Because when you stop chasing, you don't lose her, you just stop losing yourself. The 1% headman doesn't react when she pulls away. He observes, he breathes, he understands that space isn't a threat, it's a mirror. It reflects where she is, but more importantly, it reflects where he is. Most men panic in that space because they've built their identity around her attention. But the 1% headman, he's built his identity around his center. This is what he understands. Emotional control isn't about suppressing how you feel. It's about mastering your response to it. When she pulls away, the average man lets that trigger his insecurities. He starts chasing, explaining, proving. But the headman knows that chasing a woman's validation only exposes the hole he hasn't filled within himself. He doesn't run from that realization. He faces it. Because that's where power is rebuilt. He knows connection is not maintained through pursuit, but through presence. The 1% headman doesn't lead with pressure, he leads with energy. He knows that when he's calm, composed, and grounded, everything around him aligns with that state. She feels it, that stillness, that certainty, that quiet strength, and it draws her in without him having to move a muscle. This is how he leads with presence, not pressure. He doesn't talk about boundaries, he embodies them. He doesn't need to prove his worth because his life already reflects it. His purpose, his discipline, his calm, they speak louder than words. When she pulls away, he doesn't make it about her. He uses that moment to realign with his own values, to double down on his mission, to reconnect with the man he wants to be. While most men ask, "Why is she leaving?" the 1% headman asks, "What is this space revealing about me?" That question changes everything. It turns rejection into reflection. It shifts the power dynamic back to self-mastery. Because he knows if a woman can shake his peace, she owns it. And he's not giving that away to anyone. He understands that feminine energy is like water. It flows, it changes, it tests. And the only thing that holds water is structure. When she pulls away, he doesn't try to dam the river. He stays grounded like rock, still, certain, and patient, because he knows that real attraction isn't about pursuit, it's about polarity. The calm creates the draw. The stillness creates the curiosity. The headman doesn't play games. He doesn't act indifferent to manipulate her. His detachment isn't cold, it's confident. It comes from a place of inner fullness, from knowing that his world doesn't revolve around whether she stays or goes. His life is already full of meaning. She's an addition, not a lifeline. This is what he understands. A man's energy teaches more than his words ever could. When you can walk away with peace, you teach her something most men never do. That your presence is earned, not owed. That you're capable of love, but never at the cost of your self-respect. He's not afraid of silence. He's not afraid of space. He knows that if she's meant for him, she'll feel the weight of his absence. And if she doesn't, he'll still stand tall because his worth was never up for negotiation. The 1% headman doesn't chase emotions, he channels them. He turns heartbreak into discipline, distance into focus, and silence into growth. He doesn't lose himself in the pull, he becomes the gravity that everything else orbits around. Because this is what separates the 1% from the rest. When she pulls away, he doesn't fall apart, he rises deeper into himself. He sat there again, staring at the phone, the same silence, the same ache. But this time something inside him felt different. The pain was still there, but the panic was gone. It was like his heart had finally run out of things to prove. He took a slow breath and realized he wasn't waiting for her anymore. He was waiting for himself. All the overthinking, all the late nights wondering what he did wrong, it suddenly felt small. Because in that moment he saw the truth. He had been chasing the version of himself he lost trying to keep her close. And as the thought hit, something softened. The need to fix her silence turned into a need to find his own peace. He put the phone down and felt the quiet differently this time. It wasn't emptiness. It was space. Space to rebuild. Space to return. Space to remember the man who once felt whole before anyone ever loved him. That was the moment he stopped chasing her energy and started protecting his own. And for the first time in a long time, he didn't need her to come back. He just needed himself to stay. She pulled away, and you thought the story was over, but it was never about her leaving. It was about you remembering. Remembering that your peace isn't found in someone's attention, it's found in your presence. The moment you stopped chasing was the moment life handed you your power back. You didn't lose her by walking away. You found yourself by standing still, and that's what changes everything. Because in the end, it's never her distance that defines you. It's how you hold your ground when love starts to fade. The man who doesn't chase never loses.